Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your Burning Questions reading. I haven't done one of these for a while, so I thought, you know what? It is time, my friends. Let me just make sure there we go. It's time, so let's do it. Let's dive in. I would like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space, and I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, so the question we're dealing with today is, what do I need to nurture? So what do I need to nurture? We're going to take a look here. Most of us have a good idea. I've been saying this to all the signs, but this is just to kind of pick up on some energy because the question came to me while I was meditating on what to ask, right? I knew I wanted to do this set of readings, but just the theme was escaping me, and I knew I had to kind of go within. So within, without, we have our question. So what do I need to nurture? Spirit, what messages do you have for my wonderful Scorpio friends? Burning questions for Scorpio. Wow. This is kind of where you are now. You're either offering or receiving this Knight of Pentacles energy. Could be planting something for the future, though. Making slow progress as well. Oh, this Ten of Swords came out for Libra as well. You know what? This is the embrace. I almost get this as being your card, Scorpio. It wouldn't shock me if death came out. Because I'm getting that this is like you're embracing the lessons that pain taught you, and you're kind of like releasing this need to go fast. This is like quick movement, but this is also travel, messages coming in. So we have two kind of message cards. This could be, releasing the need to, and also just letting go, like surrendering, and sort of, there's something about pace here, like pacing yourself. Because of the Knight of Pentacles showing up as where you are now and this being kind of a release position. Let me see where this spread takes us, though, because it's still... Oh, no big deal. It's just the wheel. It's fine. Yeah. I feel like the wheel is turned for you, Scorpio. This is also your energy and related to the lunar eclipse set that is, the north nodes are in the north and south nodes are in Scorpio and Taurus. So this is not just it's your season all year. It's your season all year, boo. It's your season all year. So in a way, I feel this is true, right? A lot of themes that Scorpio and Taurus bring up aren't just exclusive to your birthday. I think that it's coming up around these eclipse events. So the next one is October 25th is the partial solar eclipse in Scorpio. And then November 8th is the total lunar eclipse in Taurus. So it could be something to do around that time, but I just feel like it's more energies afoot this year. So I think that where you are right now is this sort of slower progress, and I feel like there's something about pain that you've experienced or been through. There's lessons from it. I feel like each of these swords is a kind of lesson, right? Each of the swords is a lesson. Now, this says everything is fine. It's a separate card in this particular deck, and I just didn't take it out. But it's like you're not ignoring it, because this is kind of like everything's fine. It reminds me of the meme with the dog sitting in the flaming house where it's like, this is fine. This is okay. It's all right, when it's really not. So I think that these are all kind of lessons that you've taken from an experience. And that's what you're embracing. You're embracing the lessons of them. You're embracing the growth. You're embracing healing. And the Eight of Wands is kind of showing up about, it's striking me more as communicative energy, honestly. Like communicative energy could be some travel too. The wheel tends to denote divine timing, even though it's not in a specific timing position in this spread. So I'm almost getting that there's been some kind of divine timing at work for you, Scorpio. It could also be these Eight of Wands. It's like there's something about quick movement to just be cautious with. I think it's like this is part of a healing process for you. That's why it's so, I'm going to put these on here. Thank you so much, Spirit. Yeah, like there's something about a healing process that's taking place, and it's not just healing worry or anxiety, but this is like genuine concerns. Like this can be frivolous, right? This can be just worries and anxieties and sleepless nights, but sometimes those 9 of swords, like given what I'm picking up on from the 10, like I think there might be a healing that's taking place for you in some capacity. And so, it's like, give yourself a moment. Give yourself a moment, because the wheel is here on this sort of how the story, like how the light gets in right now for you. So it's like it's okay. There's just something about this, a little bit of extra healing and grace. I'm hearing grace, giving yourself grace. Giving yourself grace. I don't know what that means for you, but I'm intrigued to explore. So Knight of Pentacles, 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups. It's kind of where you are now. Like, I feel like things are slow and you're kind of getting bored of it. Like, there's a little bit of boredom here. And I feel like there's something you're not necessarily seeing. And it's not like that sounds so like there's something you're not seeing. Okay, what? Right? This is really about, there could be things like cups in front of you that you're not seeing, like options. This can be options in terms of romance, but this can also be like routes to take somewhere, routes to take, things to do to get from point A to point B or F. Like there's like, you know what I mean? Like there's different steps that you can take along the way. You might be missing them because you're looking at the one or looking at the lack thereof. We'll see how this pans out. Let's continue though. But I feel like it might be, I'm sensing just some frustration with the process being slow. Yeah. It's like, I feel like this is more like trying like a shortcut, like looking for shortcuts. But making sure that if you take them and it feels okay, because tarot is tarot, and like a sentence from this reading might resonate and the rest is like not applicable. So it's just making sure that because these cards came out so loud, making sure that it honors any need for healing that you may have, or that healing that you've been doing. Just making sure that it honors that, because this is like, the shortcuts aren't coming out as like some kind of like thievery or like, you know what I mean? It's not like that. This is more coming out as just making sure that you don't draw from your own energy negatively. Yeah, that's another pace card, another slow energy card. This is the Hanged Man, so this is Pisces and Neptune energy, and this is like the truth, right? When this card comes out, it's like, yep, that's confirmed. So I feel like it's not about stopping, it's just about pacing yourself. It might be about pacing yourself, because there's something here, I'm hearing something about like, the Hanged Man okay, so thank you so much, Spirit. There's like a bunch of messages that just came in. So one of them is about savoring. So if this is like a project that you're working on or anything like that, savoring is really important, right? I've done things like radio, and I've written in magazines in Toronto, and I've had the opportunity to present awards to folks through volunteering that I've done. I've done a ton of things, and anytime and that's not to be like I'm amazing, because those are just things that I've done, right? It's not about me in those instances, about what I'm doing. But the thing that has always been consistent is the times that I feel really terrified to do something, or I'm nervous about doing something, or if I've been super excited for it, I try to savor tiny moments about it and remember the sensory experiences of those moments. So I did, I got to do a keynote speech at a satellite Pride Toronto event in 2014. It was in, it was a satellite event, so it wasn't the main thing, but it was a World Pride event, which was big. So I got to do a keynote for that, for a community pride group. And one of the things that I remember doing is smelling the way the car smelled on the way there, the conversations I was having with my friends, that a couple of them were meeting up there to see everything, and like that feeling, the feeling that it generated. So, because I wanted to remember every second of it, I wanted to remember the little details, so that I could, if something bigger came along that was even more mind blowing, I would never forget how it felt to be a beginner. I would never forget, and I would never disconnect from that sense of humility. And I feel like there's something about this pace here that's important to that. It took a lot to get there, so I appreciate your patience. But there's something about that, and it's like connecting you with your truth. Like there's something about about not just savoring the process, but because I feel like the process is going to reveal things to you. The Hanged Man goes upside down because there's like things they need to see. In a way, I'm feeling like it's almost like a hermit. Like there's some kind of slow truth that will emerge, and it's not a bad one. I don't see like a tower here. I mean, although spirit is funny like that, I'll be like, I don't see a tower, and then no, see, that's a good tower. That's not even a tower. Look at that. The sun came out. I feel like that's really I think this is about being able to savor your joy, to savor little moments, because there's something about this storyline here, this like embracing the lessons of this pain, where it's like, embracing these lessons, it's not like lessons as in like you should have known that. It's not like that at all. It's just the things that occur to us, the things that occur to us through a slow grieving process. We need to make an equal space for the slow integration of joy, the slow savoring of joy. We rush towards joy, but we spend so much time grieving, and that's a good thing. Grief is amazing. Death is one of my favorite cards in the tarot. I'm talking here about how we need to make equal space to savor the joy as we do to savor for our soul to be nourished by the lessons that we learn from loss. So that's a lot that I'm getting from here. So it's almost like you're kind of nurturing a process. You're nurturing a process. Let's see what else. Empress. Yeah, this is like, I feel like this is kind of like glow up vibes. Glow up vibes. There was the 4 of Pentacles on the bottom. Didn't get anything off of that. But it's like this, I feel like this is some kind of glow up, maybe to do with Venus energy, because that is what the Empress represents. 7th house, so long-term relationships, long-term business contracts, things that are not in and out. This is not like an in and out energy in the 7th house. That is very much like for a long haul, not just like for a long time either, like for some kind of long haul. Right? You could think of it in terms of, there's a lot of clarity here. And I feel like this is the clarity you gained, like you're healing, or you healed in some way. And then you came up as the Empress with this Queen of Swords internalized now, because that's the one sword that you used. That's your sword. That's one of the swords that you pulled out of your back that you wield now as your understanding, right? And this is that truth. This is like the sword that the Queen of Swords wields. So it's like this truth here that you're needing to connect to, and kind of nurturing a pace with something, or embracing a pace that honors your joy as much as you have had to honor your grieving process. 9 of Pentacles. Come on. That's amazing. This is so good. Scorpio, this is really, really good. Oh, this is amazing. Knight of Pentacles, as if we needed more doubling up. Spirit does this when there's a message that needs emphasis. And this is the pace part, right? Honoring your joy. Because, I think it's like honoring your joy as much as you've honored yourself through grieving and healing. Because we dive into shadow work, we dive into healing, we do all of that work, and it's so intense, and it feels meaningful, and it is. Do we make the same time for our joy? Do we make the same time for the good things? Do we make that space to process? What is the opposite of shadow work? What is the opposite of shadow work? What are the alternatives that we can look to in those moments to embrace our joy, right? So this 8 of Wands, 9 of Swords, 4 of Swords. I feel like there's something that you've healed or are healing, and there's a message about healing here specifically. So I feel like if that has taken place, I feel like Spirit sees it. Like it's all over the cards here, and I feel like this is a point of your expansion. Like I feel like there's a juncture here where that healing process is something that is leading to a sense of expansion for you. 6 of Pentacles. This can also be, so this tends to be like a giving card, it could be charitable giving, but there's also, I feel like in this card more so I'm seeing spiritual gifts received and given. So it could be that this is, again, Spirit seeing you and seeing what you've experienced and gone through so far. Yeah. Both? Okay. Oh. Aries and the Lovers, and I think you're prioritizing you. Aries represents the first house, which is it's sort of the I, me, my And that's what Aries energy is, right? It's a self-focus, not necessarily in a self-centered way. That can be the shadow of the Emperor. The way I'm getting it here is that you chose yourself, and that's opened up a whole slew of different choices for you. Gemini is the Lovers, and that's the traditional choice card in the tarot. So it's like choosing yourself has opened up so much more energy, and you're already standing in this Empress glow up energy. And I think this is you owning that. This could be you making decisions from this really, really beautifully healed place, Scorpio. That's what this energy could be as well. And this is also partially your energy as well. Scorpio is Aries and Mars, or sorry, Mars and Pluto. So same diff. You know what I'm saying. So Scorpio energy is Mars and Pluto together, right? So fire and water. So this is also a component. Whoa, my ear's ringing. That would be my left ear. But this Aries energy is quite loud. Wheel of Fortune, Spirit, can you, Two of Wands. Yeah, I feel like now that you're in this place, I think that now that the wheel has turned, it's like you feel like I'm getting the wheel turned. This is the story here. Now we're at we're at another variation of the present moment, and you're able to plan differently. You're able to open up differently. And Two of Wands is a planning energy. It is an opening up internally before the world opens up to you. Before the world opens up to you. Interesting. I see the globe in their hand, and like I know that it's like planning for something. 10 of Pentacles on the bottom, Scorpio. What? This is like long term. This again, it's that long term 7th house Venus energy, right? That 7th house energy where we're looking at like long term relationships, long term careers, long term decisions, things that have like contractual elements to them, but not in a way that's like bondage. It's like it's contractual energy that is that's like a long-term investment. 10 of Pentacles is also like investment in something that's bigger than you. This is like legacy energy, familial connection energy, like familial meaning like ancestral as well. So you could have ancestors watching over you through this process. You may know this, you may feel it. Yeah, but this 10 of Pentacles is like, you're able to plan for this. And you can't plan for the 10 of Pentacles necessarily, but you can start to plant seeds that bring this to fruition, right? Like, you can start to plant those seeds. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Page of Swords. 3 of Swords. I figured it was going to come out at some point. Hierophant. Yeah. I'm seeing more as like, this is about, in terms of the pace, like I feel like the Page of Swords, the pages are quicker energy, I find, compared to the Knights. I mean, the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords, period, are very fast energies. But I get this is like a little bit of like scripting energy, like you're writing a bit of your story. I think of the pages as writers too, right? Like specifically wands and swords, because it's like I'm hearing like the sword is mightier, or the pen is mightier than the sword. So it's almost like you're scripting something here because of a bit of a betrayal. And I think that it might have been something to do with like the way you've always done things before. The Hierophant energy is like tradition, right? There could be something that you did that was just the way you'd always done things before. And so maybe that's connected to this pace thing, right? Like it's like a little bit of like looking at patterns and scripting a new outcome or new story based on a commitment, Taurus energy commitment, a commitment to something new for yourself, but doing it in a way that's very grounded. Not because you have the Three of Swords kind of, I'm seeing like something hang from a car mirror and swinging while you're driving. Like it's not like it's that prominent in your windshield, but just remembering that there's a reason why, like that's how pain has purpose, is we make decisions to do something differently with it, right? Pain has a purpose. Pain has a purpose. And I think that when we integrate those lessons, which again, I think you have done, the cards are here to show that. It's just remembering that in action, maybe. Remembering that in action. The Page of Swords is like an action-oriented card. Yeah. It could be gathering information too. Gathering information, but I feel like it's just sort of like the way that things have always, like the way that you've done things before. Like you could be making a break with that and doing something different. That could be a possibility as well. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Scorpios? This is beautiful. Oh, I can't believe that. That's amazing. I also can't believe I just sang. Oh my God. I'm breaking my own rules here for you, Scorpio. I'm breaking my own rules. It's just the squeak is embarrassing when it comes out. They chose you. I'll read the back to you. So you might not readily believe this. It might even spook you a bit. But there are those who chose this very lifetime in large part knowing you'd be there. Now that's what we call a reputation. Yeah. Could be some soul family vibes on that. I get that off that card so much that it's like, it feels a lot like soul family finding you, finding itself, finding, like you're calling people back. Earlier disappointments were just rehearsal for the great stuff coming your way. That's the Three of Swords. Thank you so much, Spirit. That's awesome. Yeah, earlier disappointments were just rehearsal for the great stuff coming your way. Keep that in mind. It's the perspective, right? Keeping the fresh perspective. Because the wheel is turning. I feel that very strongly. The wheel is turning. Spirit, what messages do you have for Scorpio? I allow people to witness their behavior so I can help them move beyond it. Yeah, I think this is a little bit of not like, so what I get from this card is like the ways that we can try to help people so that they I'm trying to think of an example to concretize this. But it's like when we, instead of, I don't want to say save people because that's icky energy, but it's like when we help someone who's, and this could be a pattern, this could be something that happened in the past too, so keep that in mind. But it's coming out here, so like there could have been something to do with like a pattern of helping people to your detriment, or I feel like there's just this, it's not a saving energy or a rescuing energy, but it's like, instead of doing that, just allow people to consider their own behavior, to consider themselves. Because I feel like this is you prioritizing yourself, right? That could be the new thing. That could be the Three of Swords to the Hierophant, right? That could be that new way of doing things. That could be a new tradition that you're making for yourself. So it's like, instead of, doing that, just allow people to witness their behavior. And not like saying like, I'm going to mirror to you. It's nothing like that. Like, it's not about toxicity. This is just about understanding that everyone has their own journey to take. So even if there's situations where you were trying to interject to help people, it really did drain you. It did drain you. But it's just about also witnessing ourselves too, right? I pray before I pay. Oh, my ear's ringing again. This to me is about investment too. Like, I pray before I pay. Like, have you checked in with your guides before you invest in something? Like, I see a lot of investment energy, like emotional investment. 2323 on the time. 10 of Pentacles, Hierophant. Then there was the Empress under here, which is Libran energy. Ace of Swords, the Sun, the Emperor. Like, there's a lot of investment energy here for you, Scorpio, where it's like, praying before you pay is like, before you invest, have you checked in with yourself? Have you been in your Aries? Have you been in your Aries? Maybe there's Aries in your chart somewhere. Have you been in your Aries? Right? Have you checked in with your I, me, my to make sure that you're good with you? Because again, there's something about a healing process here that Jupiter is expanding. You could, I know Jupiter returns. They come up every now and again. It could be a lesson from that. I don't know. I heard Jupiter return. They tend to happen every 12 years, I think. Every 12 years, maybe something like that. I know but that's an aside. That was like a random in, but, I think it's just about making sure that you're good with what you're doing in terms of this pace, in terms of what's happening, and just checking in with yourself along the way. Because there's a lot of people might read it as stuck energy, like the Four of Cups, the Hanged Man, the Seven of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, like this. But to me, in the energy that I'm reading it, is like there's something about pace that's healing, because it is leading to happiness. So just, I don't know, that is your reading, Scorpio. This was very, very clear cut and very like to the point. So Spirit had a lot to say, but it was very concise. Side note, just as a side note, I'm getting off of this some Neptune energy, and the Neptune retrograde is happening. Neptune retrograde is June 28th, I believe. So it could be some themes from Neptune retrograde that might come up. Just to keep in mind, like there's some things that you might be like, oh, like this is like illusions. Like we're letting go of illusions. This can be illusions about others, about ourselves, about our past, about things that have happened to us in the past. It's more of this Piscean, Neptune hanged man energy, right? So it's like it's really releasing illusions, but also understanding the ways that we hold them about ourselves too, right? So it's just that I got that as I was getting ready to close the reading. I was like, oh, that looks like Neptune. I was like, wait, Neptune retrograde. So that could be something that comes up. So just keep an eye on that too, right? And it's not about like keeping things out or always being cautious. It's not about that necessarily. It's just about, I think, respecting yourself, because there was something that happened that really kind of took energy from you in that way. So just doing that to honor yourself, Scorpio. But that was your reading, Scorpio. So if it resonated, please like and subscribe. If you haven't already, I would love to have you on the channel. And bottom line is that I'm just so grateful that you're here. So thank you for watching. And as always, wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, I hope it finds you very well. Take care. My darling Scorpios, have a great rest of week. Bye.